Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah kabul etsin inshallah. May Allah accept our worship, accept our prayers, accept our zikr. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم دستور مدد يا صاحب السيف شعبين كربس يا رباني مدد مدد يا سلطان يا رب استغفر الله العظيم واتوب لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله طريقتنا الصوبة في الخير من جميع. This tariqat is based on association and the goodness comes from the Jamaat. May Allah accept our faith. Let's renew our shahadat. Saying, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If a man does not know anything else, if a man in this 21st century, Ahir of the Ahir Zaman, the Muslim, does not know anything else, he does not know too much Quran, he does not know too much Hadith, he does not know too much Dua, all he's saying is the Shahadat, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, over and over and over again. That is enough to bring him safety. That shahadat, it is enough. You don't need anything else. 21st century Muslims, 21st century believers, 21st century Ahir of the Ahir Zaman, people who are saying we are following tariqat. They're looking everywhere for secrets. They're looking everywhere to find something that maybe is not for them. Maybe that secret is not for you. But what is in front of you that is holding your secret? What is in front of you that is holding your blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you? They are not looking for that. They are not looking at that. They are not taking the benefit from that. If a man does not know anything else, but he knows that shahadat, that is enough to bring him to safety and to bring him to higher station. The squarehead Wahhabis, they are opposed. They are against the zikr. In reality, they are against the shahadat, isn't it? What is our zikr? By saying La ilaha illallah, Allah. If you are saying, don't say that, don't say La ilaha illallah, don't say Allah, then definitely you're following shaitan. Definitely you're following your ego. Definitely, it doesn't matter that time how much, yes, you pray, how much you fast, how much you're saying you're giving zakat, how much you're going to the hajj, how much worshipping that you do, but you're preventing people from saying La ilaha illallah. What kind of a Muslim are you? Isn't that why Holy Prophet ﷺ came to this world? To make us to say La ilaha illallah. We are not Christians to say you say that one time and you're going to be saved. There is going to be salvation if you just accept. You have to say La ilaha illallah. As much as you are saying, that much more blessings, that much more rewards, that much higher station, that much closer you're going to be to Allah. Everything has a polish, Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying. And what polishes the heart from the rust, the heart from everything else that is in there that is preventing us to put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala there. That is the throne of Allah. That Allah is saying, the heart of a believer, that is my throne. That is saying, La ilaha illallah. That cure, that polish is the constant zikr of Allah. So if a man does not know anything else, but he knows La ilaha illallah, that is enough. To say that constantly, La ilaha illallah. That La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah alayhi salatu wassalam. That is what Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam brought 1400 years ago. Enough for man for 1400 years. Enough for today. Enough until Judgment Day. And that shahadat is going to continue for all of eternity. For post-eternity. Because that shahadat was there. Don't think like these square-head non-believers. These unbelievers, these kafirs, they're saying Islam came 1400 years ago. One person going to the cave sees an angel. He was a camel herder. Then he's saying, angel came to me, I'm here to give you a new religion. Muslims now, they're believing that. Muslims are believing that. If you believe that, definitely your faith is not complete. Because the shahadat that we gave, this is one of the blessings of the nation of the Prophet ﷺ. The shahadat that we gave, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu, is the shahadat of all 124,000 prophets. That is the shahadat they gave. That out of billions, trillions, uncountable people who came before 1400 years, only 124,000, only their prophets were chosen to give that shahadat that we are giving. The shahadat that we are giving and that we're taking for granted. The shahadat that the Wahhabis are saying, don't repeat that over and over again, it is a bid'at. The shahadat that people who are saying we're Ahlul Sunnat, but they have lost their minds. Saying they're Ahlul Sunnat, but they've lost their Aqidah. Saying they're Ahlul Sunnat, but saying, don't make zikr, don't make maulid, don't follow shaykhs, don't follow tariqats, don't believe in awliya Allah, don't believe the inheritors of the prophets. They've lost their beliefs. They've lost the Aqidah. To say La ilaha illallah, it is the highest honor. It is the highest honor that has been given to mankind. To say La ilaha illallah is the highest deed that you can ever do. It is a farce to you. To say La ilaha illallah is one of the 73 branches of faith. The heaviest, the most important to say La ilaha illallah, and the smallest is to remove an obstacle on the road, to pick up a stone, a branch that is on the road that is being used. 21st century Muslims, they became so educated. They think that they know so much about Islam. They're reading so many books. They're reading so many websites. Don't say books. Nobody reads books nowadays anymore. They just Google and they find answer about Islam and Tasawwuf through internet. Today's Muslims, they don't know anything. They don't know the basics. They don't have a foundation. No matter how beautiful the building is, no matter how tall the building is, no matter what you put in there, if you don't have a foundation, what do you have? Nothing. One wind is going to come to blow and everything is going to fall. That's what you're going to have. Shaky. Nothing is there that is solid. They know so much, and that is why they're stopping us from saying shahadat over and over again. That shahadat is enough to give safety to a kafir, to a non-believer. That non-believer who never made one sajda for the sake of Allah. That believer who is committing every wrong action in his life. But in the last breath, if he says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu, with a tongue and believing that there is only one Allah, and believing that the Holy Prophet ﷺ was his last messenger, believing in that, even if he has done nothing good in his life, even if he has done everything wrong, that shahadat is strong enough, that shahadat is powerful enough to make him to become a newborn. to make him to become clean, to make him to pass to the other side clean. Allah is guaranteeing. So you must be shaitan to prevent people from saying shahadat over and over again. Yes. And what about if the shahadat is repeated by a believer? What about if the shahadat is being repeated by a Muslim? If it helps an unbeliever so much, Allah that is Kareem, Allah is not stingy. Astaghfirullah. Allah is Kareem. You think Allah is going to give less to those who believe Him? When are Muslims going to wake up to look for the lost treasures? These words, these teachings we take directly from Sahibul Sayyid Shabul Kabrisya Rabbani. And whatever small drops that we're remembering from his oceans, we are giving. But that is enough for the whole of mankind until Judgment Day. If you are not putting your ego in front of you, if you're not putting shaitan in front of you, if you're not putting dunya in front of you, if you're not putting your desires in front of you, this is enough. It is enough, and it is strong enough to carry. It is strong enough to carry you, and it is strong enough. And it is strong enough for everyone who is weak to carry them. Anyone who is weak, they're also able to do this. Maybe you're not able to do so many things, but to repeat the shahadat, to believe in the shahadat, to make the zikr, anyone can do it. What is stopping you? Only your ego that is stopping you, nothing else. So we've just finished the zikr. And we are thanking our Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for giving us this opportunity, for favoring us, for pulling us out from that mess and from that hell, to make us gather together and to remember Him. No credit to us. Credit belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Credit belongs to His Holy Prophet ﷺ. Credit belongs to our sheikhs. Credit belongs to Sahib Saif for pulling us, reminding us to remember our Lord, and for pulling us and for knocking us wall to wall, making us to understand what our ego is. What is it that is stopping us from having faith? Making us to remember our Lord. Credit goes to them, not to us. We are not relying on our worship. We are not relying on our zikr. We are not guaranteeing that because we just made a zikr, it is going to be accepted. That is showing the highest arrogance. If you're saying, I prayed and I make zikr, and it is accepted, definitely is going to be accepted. In reality, you've made the hidden shirk. Why? Isn't Allah the judge? Whatever that you are doing, isn't Allah going to judge you? What gives you the guarantee? What gives you the guarantee that because you have worshipped, that Allah is going to accept? If you say He is going to accept, that means you're pushing Allah away. You're saying, I'm going to judge, not Allah, and I'm saying that it is accepted. If you do that, if you push Allah away, not only you are ascribing partners to Him, you're putting yourself to be partners to Allah. Where are the scholars? Where are the alims? Where are the ulamas? To wake up this nation, to make them understand that the hidden shirk, the shirk that is the most dangerous sin that is facing us, but the shirk that is hidden is even more dangerous than that, because we don't see it with these eyes. Where are those ones to remind us what this hidden shirk is? Or what are they concentrating on? Where are the sheikhs to make us to understand this? Our sheikh is reminding us this over and over again. The highest honor that we're looking for, the highest title that we're looking for, is servanthood. Servanthood. Not partnership to Allah. Servant. We are not under any illusion or delusion, especially those ones who have taken bayat to him, to declare ourselves anything. If we are accepted to be his servants, that is the highest honor that we can get. It is what we're looking for. We're not here to declare that we are wali. We're not here to think that we are. We're not here to encourage each other that we are. It is wrong. Because if the man knows himself, he knows his Lord, he'll be able to worship his Lord. How are we knowing ourselves? Are we knowing ourselves as his friends? What right do we have? Are we knowing ourselves as weak servants, weak and disobedient servants who's living in this Ahir of the Ahir Zaman, who is living in a world that is not following any Shariatullah? Shariat is not something that you just practice by yourself with your family. There is no Shariat then. Not just with the community, Shariat has to be the whole nation that is practicing it. Shariat can only come when there is a Khalifa. So we're not living under any Khalifa, and there is no Shariat. What right do we have to say that we are following Islam correctly? Islam, that sword is put inside the sheath, in the cover. It is not taken out to protect the rights. It is not taken out to defend. It is not taken out for the blessings to reign. And when that sword, when that Khalifa is hidden and is veiled, from that time until now, wars never ending. The catastrophes of the nature never ending. The slavery of mankind never ending. The troubles of mankind never ending. All that is coming because Allah has lifted the protection. Allah has lifted his representative on earth. Allah has lifted that one who is representing the Prophet, the Khalifa. When that is lifted, the protection is lifted. When the Shariatullah is lifted, the protection is lifted. And now the curse of Allah is falling. The anger of Allah is falling. And it's touching both believers and unbelievers. Before, because of the awliyaullah, because of the Shariatullah, because of the Khalifatullah, there is protection for believers and unbelievers. Don't think Islam is for us. Don't think awliyaullah and the Prophet is only for us. He is rahmatil lil alameen. He is a mercy to all the worlds. And that much that you are carrying him, that much that you're obeying him, that much that you are accepting his representative, that much that you're living his lifestyle, that much that you're carrying his sunnah, that much that rahmat is going to cover you and others around you, and the whole nation and the whole world. You remove that prophet, you remove that lifestyle, you remove his representative. There is no rahmat then. You remove the rahmat. What do you get? You get the anger of Allah. So that protection is also lifted, not only for Muslims, but also for non-Muslims. We are here trying to live the lifestyle of the Prophet under the guidance of our Shaykh, Sahibul Saif, Shabul Karim Kabrisiya Rabbani. We are living in these times in the 21st century where there is no Khalifa and there is no Shariatullah, and we've pulled ourselves up in the mountains of the Catskills in New York, where we are free to worship. We are free to worship. And we've left the dunya away. We've put the dunya aside, and we're saying we're coming here, Ya Rabbi, to worship you. We are not claiming that we are anything. We're not claiming and we're not declaring ourselves awliya. We're not claiming and declaring ourselves that we are anything worth. But we are saying, Ya Rabbi, for the sake of our Shaykh, please accept whatever broken service that we are doing. Inshallah, it will be accepted. guard ourselves. You and me, we must guard ourselves against the hidden shirk. Guarding yourself against the hidden shirk is to declare yourself something. Declaring yourself, especially in these days where you see nothing but the anger of Allah that is falling, and you see nothing but disobedience that is mankind and this ummah and Muslim nations and Muslim groups, to families, to individuals, where you see the shaitanic system and the dajjalic system creeping and touching everyone and everywhere, where we see that this whole world and the skies and the land and the food and the animals and ourselves, everything that we're touching is poison. If we are still under the illusion and delusion that because we're living in these times that is so filled with darkness and sorrows that we are still something, we need to check our faith that time. Mankind is following a road that is going to lead them to nothing but disaster. Mankind is following a road that is filled with disobedience, that is going to bring them complete disaster here and hereafter. Islam is coming to take you out from that disaster. The Holy Prophet ﷺ came to bring mercy and to teach man how to live. To teach man how to live in this world and how to prepare themselves for the hereafter life. That is the highest knowledge. That is the only knowledge that we need to know. If man is not working, if man is not earning a living, if he's doing nothing but staying in a cave all his life, he's doing nothing but he's worshipping and praying and making a zikr, and if he passes, it is still okay. It is good. It is very good. Because we have been created to worship. We have not been created to build tall buildings and to make this world into a luxury lifestyle. We have not been created to live in this world where now mankind is wasting and poisoning everything, using this world, not knowing how to use this world. The Shaykh Effendi has said so many times, if the whole world is to live like America, and we're speaking from the heart of America, if this whole world were to live like Americans are living, which the whole world is chasing after to live this lifestyle, this world is not going to last 10 years. Impossible. It is not going to last 10 years. Where are the leaders to wake us up? Where are the leaders to wake up the Muslims? Where are the leaders to wake up the believers? Where are the sheikhs to wake us up to say, leave this dunya. Leave the tricks and the traps of this dunya and run after the Mawla. Run after the hereafter life. Live a simple life. So many, they are opposed to tariqat because they say, well, tariqat, if you join the tariqat, it's going to tell you to throw away the world. It's okay to throw away the world. Well, what about your wife and your children? We have the companions of the Prophet ﷺ as our guide. Yes, as our guide. They left their wives and their children. They did. They were looking and running after Islam and Allah and His Prophet first. They were. Yes. So many will now say and complain, what? He's teaching us to just leave our wives and leave our children and just run after Allah, sit in a cave and make zikr. Of course, that's what they're going to say. I'm saying right now. They're not understanding the point I'm trying to make. First, have the attitude that this world is a prison. First, have the attitude that the tricks and the traps and the pleasures and the treasures of this world is nothing but a confusion for you. First, have that attitude. You cannot even have that attitude. But this is the attitude that the Quran is saying that you must have. This is the attitude that the prophets, they came to teach you. Prophets did not come to this world. Not 124,000 prophets came to this world to teach us how to live in this world, to enjoy the pleasures and the treasures of this world. All 124,000 prophets came to teach us how to prepare ourselves for the afterlife, for the akhirat, not for this dunya. First, have that attitude. When you believe in that, when the belief in the akhirat is stronger than the belief in this dunya, then that time the dunya will be under your feet. Don't worry. That time the dunya will run after you. You don't have to run. As much as you are running after the dunya is going to run away from you. But if you are running away from this dunya, if you're running to Mawla, to Allah and His Prophet, the dunya will run after you. That is how it's always going to be. But where are the Muslims? Where are the believers to even believe this? Forget about trying it. Forget about living it. Just to believe. No, it cannot be. Because we have to live. I hear some foolish Muslims also saying, well, because the dua is saying, give us the best of this dunya and the best of this hereafter. So, the best of this dunya must be what my ego wants. That is their idea. Which means, what the kafir is teaching us. Television is showing best of this dunya. I must drive this big car. I must live in this big house. I must wear the best clothes. I must eat the best things. I must enjoy my life. That is the best of this dunya. And then the best of akhirat. Don't you know? The dua is saying dunya first before akhirat. Why are you telling us to put akhirat before dunya? Foolish Muslims. Foolish ones. Squarehead. Faith is not complete. Because the best of this dunya must be not according to how the kafirs or the West, not according to how your parents or the television or the books is teaching you. The best of this dunya must be according to how Allah and His Prophet is telling you what is the best in this dunya. Not according to you. If it's according to you, then if there's 100 people here, they will have 100 different ideas. That thief is going to say the best of the dunya is when I steal everything. That murderer is going to say the best of this dunya is when I kill everyone. That person who drinks is going to say the best of this dunya is when I drink everything whenever I want. Everyone will have a different idea according to their ego, but you're not. It is not. It is not that way. It must be according to what Allah and His Prophet wants. You call yourself believer? Then you must believe in Allah and His Prophet. But when it comes to the best of the akhirat, they say, oh, Allah Kareem. We don't have to do that much. Allah will forgive, you know. Just do 5 times daily prayers like a thief. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But they're complaining that we are praying too fast. Just quickly, whenever it is, wherever it is, you know, life has to continue. Just squeeze in Allah some way, somehow, 5 minutes. Doesn't matter where you dress, you're not dressed, wherever you are. Just squeeze in Allah somewhere. Don't put Allah priority. Prophet ﷺ is saying, wear your best clothes and come to the presence of Allah. But they say, no, why you have to wear all these turbans, all these things? Just wear whatever you're wearing. Doesn't matter how tight it is for men's and women's. Nowadays, for men's too. Saying, why are you wearing a turban? The turban is a crown. Of course it is a crown. It is a crown of the believers. 124,000 prophets came with turbans. Every malaikat, angel that came, especially Jibreel alayhi salam in the appearance of a man, they are wearing turbans. How would you understand this? Because your belief is not in Islam, in the lifestyle of the Prophet. It is according to what television is showing you. It is what the West is showing you. It is what your ego wants. And the ego does not want what Allah and His Prophet wants. You call that willpower? That is not willpower. That is the will of the ego. So, the best of this dunya, the best of this dunya has to be whatever that we take from this world that is going to be halal, that is going to be blessed, that is not going to be a distraction or a fitna, that is not going to be an enemy to you. Because the dunya is an enemy, is it not? The dunya is an enemy. So the best of this dunya is when you make that enemy to become your friend. This dunya, how is it going to be your friend? Be a friend of Allah. Make this dunya to be that. That time is going to be the best of this dunya. Yes. Live this dunya as the Prophet live this dunya. Live this dunya as the Sahaba Kiram live this dunya. Live this dunya as the awliya Allah they are living. As the righteous people they are living. Follow their guidance, at least. Yes, follow their guidance. Of course, not everyone can drop everything and be in a cave to make the zikr. But if people do that, it's still okay. Not everyone can run up to the mountain to live. We know that. But if everyone does, it's good. It is still okay. There are so many things that you need to do, that you have to do. Different people, different lifestyles, different jobs, different things that they need to do to make this world to go. But you're not going to rely on your judgment. You're going to rely on the judgment of those ones who have finished themselves for the sake of Allah, and those ones who are following the sunnah of the Rasulullah. Those ones who are our sheikhs, those ones who are the friends of Allah. They will guide you. That time they will guide you. And they will say, continue to work like this, continue to work like that, continue to work like that. Now do it for the sake of Allah, not for the sake of your ego. That time it doesn't matter whether you're living in a palace or you're living in a cave, because it is for the sake of Allah. So many, they're living in a cave. So many, they've pulled themselves up to the mountains, but they're still envying and they're still longing for the life of the city. They're still longing and envying that mess that we came out from. And there are so many who is living in the city, and they're longing and they're envying the life that we are living here. Which one do you think is going to be in safety? So many foolish ones also coming and saying, well, we need this world. You know what? We need to buy a sajda. If there is no sajda, we cannot pray. So that's why we need to work and we need to earn a living. We need to pray. Because to buy a sajda, to pray. You don't have sajda, you can. What kind of foolishness is this? Definitely that one is not complete up there. Not complete. Only looking to see what to enjoy. Only looking to see what to buy. Only looking to see what to talk about, how to make a fitna. So, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, with the blessings of our Shaykh, we've pulled ourselves out from the mess of this dunya, and we are here. And with his blessings, inshallah Rahman, we continue in this way to worship. We are not proud of our worship. We are not relying on our worship. What we're relying on is our faith to our Shaykh and our connection to him. But it is our responsibility now to build that connection strong with him. Just as saying the Shahadat one time will give you safety. But if you say it over and over and over again, because who knows how many times we break the Shahadat. We're declaring that there is only one Allah. But every time we complain to Allah, we are ascribing partner to him. We are challenging him. Every time we are complaining to Allah and saying, why are you doing this? I don't like this. We are saying to Allah, you made a mistake. We're saying to Allah, you are not Allah. Hasha astaghfirullah. That time, yes, we've made a hidden shirk. We say it over and over again to give us more safety. Because we say there is only one Allah. We say we're following the Prophet ﷺ. The actions must show if we are holding on to the Tawheed. The actions must show if we are holding on to that Prophet ﷺ. Sit and think, you and me, how many times we have broken our faith. We've broken our ties and connection to the Prophet ﷺ. At that time you'll understand. Don't fool yourself. Don't praise yourself. Don't trick yourself. Sit and think and be sincere. Go to sajda and say, Ya Rabbi, forgive me. You have given me everything, and I've done nothing but I've wronged myself, and I've squandered the blessings that you have given me. La ilaha illa anta subhana in kuntum min az-zalimin. I have oppressed myself. You cannot blame anyone. Blame yourself. You cannot even blame shaitan. He's there to whisper. He's not holding a gun to your head to say, do this, forcing you. You only need to blame yourself. And if you understand this before you pass, before the judgment day comes, and you sit and you say, Ya Rabbi, I blame no one but myself, help immediately reaches to you. You say, Astaghfirullah alazim wa atubu ilayh. Help and the mercy will reach to you immediately. Because you've put yourselves down, Allah will raise you high. Build that shahadat. Shahadat gets broken. Build that connection to our Shaykh, because sit and think how many times a day we've broken that. And when that connection we're building gets strong, that time more blessings, more rahmat, more mercy, more guidance, more vision, more clarity, more energy, more power will come to us. All this that we are getting is nothing but to make us into better servants, to make us to become an obedient servant to our Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah forgive us. May Allah raise the station of our grand Shaykh and our Shaykh higher and higher. And may we become better ones for their service, inshallah. May Allah forgive all the wrong things that we have done, wrong things that we are doing, and wrong things that we are going to do. For the sake of those ones whom He loves, to forgive us and to bring us closer to those whom He loves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise the station of our Shaykh and grant him more power and more support to us. And may those ones who are running to be in His service, running to do His work and His mission, running to bring people into one Jamaat, running to remove the fitna, running not to put barricades in front of him, but to remove barricades that is in his way. May Allah grant those ones and us more blessings, inshallah, and more mercy. Those who have passed and those who are about to come, we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless them and to open this way and this new year that is coming for more power for us and more opening for this way, and more people who are sincere and who are thirsting and looking for what our Shaykh has to offer, our way to reach to them. For the sake of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, for the sake of our Grand Shaykh and our Shaykh, Sahib al-Shaykh Rabbani, Al-Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Any questions?
We have 3 questions.
Question. Say.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
We are so far away from the tomb of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is there anything that we can do to stop the destruction of his tomb?
Good. Very good question. You are very far away from it. If I'm understanding correctly, you're just a helpless servant like me. We don't have power. We're not rulers. We're not leaders. In reality, we are not really responsible because we don't have that power. Allah is not granting us that power. Real faith, like what Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, is when you see something wrong and you correct it with your hands, if not with your mouth, if not with your heart. So, we are very far away. We cannot do anything with our hands. Correct? So, as much as you can speak, you can say, which today, everyone is saying something, isn't it? Everyone is saying something. Facebook, email, Twitter, everyone is saying something. So, maybe you should say. To say something, to say, I don't agree with this. Ya Allah, please make me to be those ones to be written in the book that I'm opposing this and I'm not liking this. I'm hating this action that these Wahhabi shaitans that are doing, and grant us a power for their removal from this world. Ask and make the dua, not privately, on Facebook. To say, Ya Rabbi, send us a sultan, send us the Khalifa soon. Send us Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam soon to remove these shaitans from this world. If you can do that, that'll be good. Spread it everywhere. Like it. Share it. That is something. It's not everything, but it is something. I'm saying that because that is what we have in front of us. I'm saying that because people make fitna 24 hours with other things. Or they are busy with Malayani knowledge that doesn't concern them, sharing, doing this, everything. They are posting everything, all nonsense, wrong things that is going to bring just nothing but darkness to your hearts. At least do this. If you do this, you're going to make everyone to be a witness to you. And that is good, because now people are making the whole world to be witness to the wrong things that they are doing. And that is a very big mistake, because in the day of judgment, the whole world is going to be witness to the wrong thing you did. How are you going to get out of it? You do wrong thing, do it in secret. Have no witness. That time, Allah can cover it. But if there are witnesses, what are you going to do? Now, at least make the whole world to be witness that you are not liking this wrong thing, that you are liking this good thing. Make salawats to the Holy Prophet. More salawats send to him. Connect yourself to a shaykh. Connect yourself to an awliya Allah. That time, more power will reach to you. And that time, the help is going to reach to you to be able to hold on to that faith properly. And it's only with that faith, it is only with that faith that Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam is going to come. They asked Shaykh Mawlana so many times, when is Mahdi coming, Ya Mawlana? When is Mahdi coming? When is Mahdi coming? Years ago, Shaykh Mawlana is saying, Shaykh Effendi, Hazrat Ali told us so many times, he's saying, if I have 40 murids, the 41st one is going to be Mahdi alayhi salam. Shaykh Mawlana has thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of murids all over the world. He says 40. Just 40. The 41st is going to be Mahdi alayhi salam. So strive to be, inshallah, one of those 40. That is our hope, that is our faith, that is our intention. Make your intentions big. People, when it comes to dunya, it's unlimited what their ambitions are. And they taught us from very young. You can be anything that you want. Have your ambitions as big, as huge as the whole universe. They teach you when you're young. What do you want to be? You can be president, you can be astronaut, you can be whatever you want. But when it comes to wanting things for Islam or for yourself or for the hereafter, it becomes very cheap. If you say, don't make dua like that, they're telling us, don't make dua to bring kufr down. What are you? Who are you? Just make dua that you're going to have more money. Just make dua that you're going to have a nice, comfortable, selfish life. Oof, upside down it has become. So, bear the love of that Holy Prophet ﷺ. Love the things that Allah love. And don't put love in what Allah does not love. Give value to those that Allah puts value in, but don't give value to those that Allah does not put value in. Make salawats as much as you can. Connect yourself to your shaykh. And make that to be alive in your heart. Be busy with that. Doing that, inshallah Rahman, will be counted as those ones who are doing something, who are loving the Prophet ﷺ, who are just not talking about him and saying, well, this is beyond our reach. No. You have to have a feeling. It has to touch you. It has to anger you. Muslims know how to jump up and down, burning and killing, doing everything, saying it is for the love of the Prophet, which so many unbelievers, they are motorizing them to behave that way. But when it comes to the tomb of the Prophet ﷺ, nothing. So yes, we're living in the Akhir Zaman. That much that we are doing. Inshallah. and Allah knows best. Of course, it goes without saying. Say.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Selamun alaikum.
Alaykum salam.
In the Far East, people are criticizing us for wearing the Sunnah and not wearing our traditional clothes. What can we say to them in reply? There is a big movement to restore the Sultan and royalty here in the Far East, but they are not concentrating on following Islam and leading Islamic lifestyle.
Right.
Is there anything that we can say to them to accept that Islam is important in this movement?
Good question with that. Are you a nationalist? Or are you a Muslim? If you're a Muslim, then your role model is the Holy Prophet ﷺ, who came to take away nationalism, to forbid nationalism, to forbid tribalism, and to say everyone belongs to one ummah. Not to concentrate on your nationality, not to concentrate on your family, on your tribe, and say this is more important than everything else. Islam is most important. If you're a nationalist, then you're going to say, no, my tribe, my country, my ethnicity is more important. That is exactly what Holy Prophet ﷺ came to destroy. To say the Arab is no higher than the Ajam. If people in the Far East, they are falling into this situation where they are believing and they're having more faith and more understanding of their own cultural past, it is a good thing. It is a good thing because at least they're not looking for the West and to say that we're going to follow the West, it is our role model. But if you say we're going to follow our past to find our identity, because when the West came, it messed up our identity. So our identity lies in our nationalism, if it lies in our race, in our ethnicity, and you put the full stop to there, that is when you're making a big mistake. That is when you're going to make the biggest mistake. That is when you're going to make the mistake that Holy Prophet ﷺ came to remove that mistake. To say that, no, don't divide yourselves. First, one ummah. We have to understand first. If a person was walking down the road and he trips and he falls, he's going to first look at what made him to trip. Piece of stone, piece of wood, himself, something made him to trip. If we have lost our identity, we're going to look what had made us to lose that identity. Because if you don't look at the cause, what made us to lose that identity, then you're going to come up with so many things, so many reasons. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. So we're going to come up with so many solutions that maybe has nothing to do with how you lost that identity. How did people in the Far East lose their identity? Yes, they lost their identity when the West came. And the West brought so many wrong ideas that is not inside of their identity. But what is that identity that they had that is most important to them? Is it their identity as, say, Indonesians or Malaysians or Thai or whatever it is in the Far East that you are? Or is your identity first as a Muslim? Which is more important? You think in the day of promises, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created everything, He's created us in different nations? To say this spirit is a Malaysian spirit, this spirit is Indonesian spirit, this spirit is Filipino spirit. You want more proof than that? Whatever skin you are, cut it. Same color blood flows. That blood is shared by everyone, same color. So, our identity comes with Islam. This poison of Wahhabism that started a few hundred years ago, they've turned Islam to mean only Arabic identity. It's not Islam, but it is an Arab religion that how they interpret it to be. 1400 years ago, and that Arab tradition is real Islam. So anyone else who is different from that Arab tradition, they are not Muslims. First mistake, we have to understand this. I'm explaining all of this to make us understand the obstacles that we tripped over. All right, the stone that we tripped over to make us to lose this identity. So when the Wahhabis, they say that everyone's Islam is wrong, that we are right, and we control the Haramain, Mecca and Medina, and we are supported by the British and the Yahudis, and we're destroying everything. We're saying that only Islam and only Allah and everything, and only Arabic, not Islam. And most important thing is for you to learn Arabic, to memorize the Quran, to do all these things, but not understanding the spirit of Islam and everything else. Everyone else is not according to the way that we interpret this Islam to be. They are kafirs, but because they are saying we have all this power, we're spreading that ideology everywhere. So now, 100 years, 150 years down the road, after colonialism, Muslims are waking up to say that, you know what, although this has been imposed on us, we don't like these colonial ideas. We want to go back to Islam. The only example they have in front of them are these ones who make so much noise, and the other Wahhabis. Not understanding Islam. It's developed over 1400 years. 1400 years. And in every nation, in every country, Islam has penetrated and took the Islam that was already there, because every nation now, every nationality has Islam. And they took those hidden treasures and they brought it out. Islam is in the Chinese culture. Islam is in the Indian culture. Islam is in the Eskimo culture. Islam is in every culture, in every person. Because everyone is born a Muslim. Inna dina indallahul Islam. There is no religion in the presence of Allah except for Islam. So when Islam comes, that the Holy Prophet, the teachings of the Holy Prophet ﷺ came 1400 years ago, and when it goes to different nations and when it touches the Islam that is already there, it pulls out that secret out, and everything else that is excess, that is extra, that is unnecessary, that is a deviation, it gets cleaned. It gets shaved. It gets deleted to bring out that jewel, and that nation will reach to the highest point of civilization, dunya and akhirat. I challenge anyone to tell me that whichever nation that Islam had touched with in the past 1300 years, that nation has not prospered dunya and akhirat. I challenge you to say that. You cannot. Don't look at what had happened when the Khalifa passed in the past 100 years. Islam reached the Arabs, Islam reached the Ajams, Islam reached the Afghanis, Islam reached the Faris, Islam reached everywhere. Where Islam reached, that nation, especially Islam reached the Turks, which the Turks, they're going back to their old identity, but their old identity is just a nationalist identity, which our Shaykh says, before Islam came, what did the Turks do? What are their accomplishments? They put one stone on top of another stone. But after Islam touched them, what happened to them? They controlled the whole world. And they controlled every knowledge, and they brought out every knowledge to the highest points. So, Islam had touched every point, and Islam touched us in the Far East. And when Islam touched us, yes, then our sultans and our kings rose. But you have to understand, the Islam that came to the Far East is not the Islam that is coming now from the deserts of Saudi Arabia. Islam did not come by how the history books are saying missionaries or traders. Islam came by awliya Allah. Otherwise, it is impossible for Islam to be spread. Islam came by the friends of Allah, and the friends of Allah who came, they brought Islam according to how that nation now is able to carry. Some nations can carry more than others, I'm speaking openly. Some nations they can carry more, some nations they carry less. But the process where Islam is going to be part of your lifestyle completely, it is still going on. It has not ended. It is still going on. Don't think that Islam is complete. Islam is not even complete in individuals. Can you say you have complete Islam in you? Can you say your family has complete Islam? Can you say your community has complete Islam? Then can you say your culture has complete Islam? It does not. So, it is ongoing, and Allah has opened that door of rahmat for us to keep on moving up to higher stations. So yes, so those ones, people of, say, this question is generation, or my generation, or the generation after me, saying we want to go back to Islam because this West is fooling us. But the only role model you have in front of you are either the Wahhabis, that you don't want to emulate, you don't want to follow, because something is telling you it is wrong, because they're saying, no, you have to become Arabs to become a Muslim. It is not, it is wrong. So many Christian Arabs and Jewish Arabs do. They can read Quran and make your heart to shake. That doesn't mean anything. Or you have those modernists who say that, no, Islam has nothing to do with turbans or Islamic clothes or anything that is exterior. It has to be, everything is interior. Because we want to live like how the West is, because we're comfortable with what they brought us. We want to live like that, a selfish, egoistic, pleasure-filled life, but we want to have Islam. So you have these two extremes, and people are caught in the middle. Isn't it? Or now you're caught by another group of people who say we must go back to our own identity. We don't want this Western identity. We need to go back to our own identity. And they go back to the identity they say that our nations, our forefathers have. But the identity that they go back to is a Jahiliyyah identity. Not the Islamic past. The Jahiliyyah identity. Check. After the Khilafat was removed, after the Khilafat was veiled, there's no longer one Ummah. Suddenly you became Chinese, you became Turks, you became Indians, you became Iraqis, you become Iranians, you become the Muslim Ummah was split into hundreds of different countries, and once they refuse that Khalifa, they tell that Khalifa to come down, the first thing that happened to them is Allah made the Kafirs to rule over them. That is the first punishment. So you don't want my Khalifa to rule, you don't want my shadow to rule over you, I'm going to get the unbelievers to rule over you. And we were punished with that. Yes. And once, first thing that happens when the time came to an end, where the unbelievers left the Muslim countries, the first thing that happens is a Muslim country and Muslim country will fight. Declare war to each other. Isn't that what happened? War finish, and meaning another devastation, because it takes generations maybe to get over colonialism and generations to get over war. Once you get over, if you get over, then what's going to happen? You're going to lose your identity, and you say that, you know what, to find our identity, our real identity, not all this messed up, but you know what, we have cultural and religious amnesia, because with all these generations of colonialism, generations of war, we have lost contact with our history. We don't know how our forefathers lived, what they were believing in, so we make up our own thing. And that's what's happened. Every country now that declared their own independence, from the Middle East to North Africa to the Far East, when they came to their own independence, I'm talking about Muslim countries, they don't look to the Khilafat. They don't look to Islam. They look to their pre-Islamic past, and they glorify that. You don't believe me? Check. Every national day, they start to remember their pre-Islamic past. Jahiliyyah past. So, where is the understanding in this? What is the idea? And where is the wisdom? Nothing. There's no intelligence whatsoever. So now, yes, I'm giving you a very long answer to this because there has to be a very firm foundation to be laid to understand, because that question is an intelligent question, but it is a very loaded question now because it's not so simple. In the past, if you understand, say in the Far East Asia, people now, they're saying, we want to go back to our past, but what past? How are you going to construct that past? Now they're teaching you to deconstruct the past and say it's cool. You can make it out as much as you want, whatever you want it to be. How are you going to connect yourself to the people who held the truth of the past? You think you're opening up the history books that the governments are issuing, that is telling the truth about your history or your culture? No, it is not. You think by opening the official books of religion, that those official governments, they're telling the official Islamic bodies to write, you're going to find the truth about your culture and your religion? No, you will not. Find the men of truth, and they are hidden. It is not open. It is hidden. Because those ones who say, now we want to go back to our culture, but it has nothing to do with Islam, they completely have deviated. Because once Islam touched our sultans and our kings, they rose to the highest positions, they had honor. And they were carrying Islam properly. But we had no idea. We had no idea at that time. For example, we had no idea that all the kings of Malaya, for example, or Malaysia, and the kings and the sultans in Indonesia and Java especially, in Aceh and Sumatra area, they were all Ahli Tariqat. All the sultans were following the Tariqat, and especially the Naqshbandi Tariqat. So if the sultans are following Tariqat and they're following the Islamic way properly, what about the subjects that they were ruling? But we have cultural amnesia, religious amnesia, spiritual amnesia. That's why we are sick. That's why when we are sick and you have amnesia, all these movies are supposed to teach you something, no? All these movies, you've got so many movies saying the man wake up, he doesn't remember anything. Now he finds out that he is a spy. Now he finds out that he is a bad man. Now he finds out he's an assassin. All that is, you're supposed to sit down and think, why is this? Why am I watching this? What is Allah going to tell me with this? It is happening to you. So somebody can just say to you, you are this and you are that, and you're going to believe. No, you're not going to believe that. You shouldn't. Now, every country, especially in the Far East, they have an Islam that is suited for them. That the awliya Allah came, and the ulamas and the alims, they came together, and they're able to bring Islam properly for that nation, for that time. But as I said before, Islam is an ongoing process. It didn't finish. There's some who held it higher, there's some who held it lower. Definitely, if you belong to a nation that they are Muslims, but they dress un-Islamically, you cannot say that that is more important than what the Prophet brought. Are you crazy? You've lost your faith then. You cannot now say, I love my culture so much, but the women, they're wearing tight clothes and they're showing everything and they're opening their hair and everything, and I like that. I don't believe the women should be covered up. You've lost your faith because Quran is saying to you. Prophet is saying to you. Awliya Allah is saying to you. Islam is saying to you. You cannot now put your jahil practices over the Quran and the Hadith. That time you're in complete mistake. There are many ways to cover up. There are many ways to wear the turban. There are many ways to wear the Islamic clothes. Islam came with certain principles. If we're talking about the exterior, then you take these principles. Now you can apply that principle in any way. If you don't believe me, look, you watch movies, people everywhere watch movies. Watch movies. Before the West came, especially in the Far East, everyone dressed Islamically. Say to me they didn't. Even the non-Muslims, they were dressed Islamically. They were all wearing baggy clothes, all covered up. No one was showing everything. Huh? They're wearing layers and layers of clothes. The men were all covered up. They wear something over their heads. Maybe you have certain places here and there where they are not covering up, and that is wrong. So, now you cannot fall back into that jahil thinking, also saying that I love Islam, but when it comes to Islamic culture, how you dress, how you look externally, and the way that my culture is, I'm going to choose my culture because that is not Islam. The way that I look at it, it must be Arab culture. No, Prophet brought that. Wearing the turban, it is a big sunnah. In the old days, they wore turbans too. If you come from the Far East, you must know the 9 saints that came. Every one of them, they wore turbans. Yes, and every one of them, they are Naqshbandi. Especially their heads, they are Naqshbandi. And they wore turbans, they wore baggy clothes. And all those ones who are following them, they wore Islamic clothes because now they put Islam higher than their own identity. So, how are you going to convince them? You cannot convince them if they still believe that their culture is higher than Islam. First, they have to have faith. If you have faith, then you can work with them. Then you can say, we are not Wahhabis to say everyone. That's why you see us here, for example. Everyone is wearing differently, different colored turbans, different. We like to wear this, we choose because we are representing, we are saying we love the Ottomans. We're wearing like them. And every Muslim ruler at that time, they were also loving the Ottomans. And they were following the Ottoman sultans. So if you want to be like your sultan, you're going to be dressed like the Ottomans. Because, little that you know also, for instance, the one sultan, I believe it was Sultan Abu Bakr of Johor in Malaysia, he went to visit Sultan Abdul Hamid Khan. And Sultan Abdul Hamid Khan gave him 2 Ottoman princesses. They were Circassian, they were Cherkess. And one he married, and one his brother married, if I'm not wrong. And their issue became the first Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dato Hussein On. So that is continuing. So the lineage now, sultans and rulers, is reaching back to the Ottomans. So, what do you want to be? Those ones that Prophet has praised, which are the Ottomans, or your own culture? That, to be fair, you have to see, we still have a lot of catching up to do in terms of the faith. So, to be sincere, you must be sincere. That is the most important thing. When you're sincere, then you'll be able to find an answer to that and hold on to that. It is not our responsibility. It is the responsibility of the leaders. But if you're an intelligent person, you're going to sit and think, what is going to make Allah and His Prophet happy? First, not what is going to make the historians or my king or my this. No, first, what makes Allah and His Prophet happy. Then that time, you're going to find a role model that is going to fit you and the way that you're living your life. You're going to hold on to that. And slowly, slowly, you'll be raised to higher stations to understand. Because Prophet ﷺ did not come to bring Arabic culture. He came to bring Islam. There are so many aspects of Arabic culture that he destroyed too. Burying daughters, for example. Even wearing the turban, there is a way, the Islamic way of doing it, and there's a way that the Jahiliyyah Arabs, they were doing it, that he has forbidden. So, meaning, it is Islam, it is not culture that we have to put first. Now, when the wise people, and the alims, and the ulamas, and the awliyaullah, they came to bring Islam, then they're going to say, now, whatever traditions that you have first, you're going to keep that, and you're going to make that to become more Islamic. They didn't tell you to come and suddenly to dress in robes and thawb and this and that, which is nothing wrong if you wear it. You're going to get rewards, definitely. But there is something in your culture that is already there. Inshallah, with that, we will find guidance and safety. And we'll come back to our own identity, and we'll come back to our own self. Because when Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam is coming, he's going to come with the takbir. And all the nations are going to come together, and with their own secrets and with their own identities, they're going to come to help him in his way. And with that, own secrets and own identities, the old ways of living, the old architecture, the old buildings, all these modern ones. In one night, Shaykh Mawlana Shaykh Effendi is saying, all the Ifrits, they're going to come to remove and throw into the deeper seas, and all the old ways of living will be put back. The angels will come in one night to build it, not to worry. We are believers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Yes. Say. Give.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Selamun alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
How to control the ego when it wants titles besides being servant of Allah?
How to control? Easy. Next time you go to the bathroom, look at the waste that is coming out from you and say, you are worth to become the friend of Allah? And you're making so much dirt that is coming out from you. You're eating the best foods. You're not even letting a little bit of dirtiness to enter into the food, or for it to be ugly. Maybe the food is delicious, but you like to make it to look so nice. Especially, I know people in the Far East, they love eating so much, and they put everything, they make so much so beautiful. But all that food that you're eating, beautiful, nutritious, healthy, nice food, you put it into your mouth and it turns into the worst thing comes out. So how can a man claim anything that time when he still has the toilet that is inside of him? How can he? He's carrying the toilet inside of him. How can he? That is how you're going to control your ego. First, you're going to say, shame on you. You have any shame, you have any sincerity, shame on you. Look what is coming out. Astaghfirullah. If the angel of death comes and takes you, takes your life, takes your spirit, when you are sitting there on your throne, taking away all the dirtiness, you think it's going to bring honor to you? There is a curse, which Muslims, they're not thinking. Entering into the bathroom, they're not thinking. Maybe you know a couple of things, but you're not thinking, you're not meditating. And that is something that is open. Awliya Allah have talked about it all the time. That's why we have to have sheikhs. Shaykh Effendi said that all the time, praying, Ya Rabbi, please do not take my life in this situation. And you know what? That's what Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq used to say. He used to sit and pray to Allah, not for his spirit not to be taken at that time. So yes, if you have sincerity, you're not going to look for titles. You're not going to be concentrating on the titles. If you have sincerity, if you have a sheikh, a real guide, he's going to concentrate on your ego. Once you concentrate on your ego, once you concentrate on your shaitan, once you concentrate on your Firaun and your Namrud, once you concentrate on all those wrong characteristics that you have, that you're still having, that you have been doing all your life, that there is no way out of this, and what a big mess you are, and how long it's going to take for you to take away everything. You have no time to think about anything else. No time. No time. Even if the whole world says you're something, you're going to be reminded. You're going to know, because that's what you're saying to yourself, because that is what you're believing, and that is what the reality is. Do you still complain? Do you still question Allah? Do you still get angry? Do you still get envious? Do you still get lazy? Do you still get upset? Do you still get arrogant? It's not for you to say too. Maybe a person is not sincere. He's going to say, no, I don't think I am. No, if you want to know your true worth, you're going to go to someone who is going to tell you what that true worth is, not by yourself. Not even a man who says, I think this is gold. It is gold. I'm going to sell it. No. Intelligence is going to say, I must go to a goldsmith. I find something is shiny. I think it's worth something. No. You have to go to find a jeweler. The jeweler is going to look and he's going to tell you what that value is. Whether it's true or it's not true. He's going to put that thing to a test. He's going to polish. He's going to clean. He's going to do something. Your spirit is worth more than that gold or that jewel. But it is still cased, it is still surrounded by the evils of our ego. And the tricks and the traps of this world and our ego and shaitan, there are millions and billions and hundreds of thousands. And only in the hands of an expert, jeweler, only in the hands of an expert doctor, only in the hands of a sheikh, of the doctor of the heart, can he remove it one by one. And when he starts removing it, which is going to give you a lot of pain, yes, it will, it must. When he's testing your ego that time, then you will get cleaned. But that time, when you are getting cleaned, you're not going to think, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. You're going to say, what did I do? What have I done? What am I still doing? Then you're going to look deeper. I'm still doing this. You're going to look deeper. I'm still doing this. Because awliya Allah, once an awliya Allah says, I am a wali, it's finished. Once an awliya Allah says that I am a saint, it's finished. Number one, he's not a saint, because no saint is ever going to declare that he's a saint. Number two, if he is, and he declares that he is, he's going to fall from that maqam. Yes, that is how you're going to remind your ego. But first you have to understand the honor of being a servant. The honor of being a servant of Allah. What is the honor that Allah has given to that servant? Why it is such an honor? At that time, you understand your position in Allah's position. You understand then that time, as in the day of promises, as in when Allah saying to your spirit, who am I and who are you? And we say, you are my Lord and you are my Creator and I am your servant. Where Allah is pleased with us. When you discover that, when you go back to that day, when you understand that, that is going to give you the joy, that is going to give you the happiness, and you're not looking for anything else, because everything Allah has created to be His servant. Those who are asking and looking and thinking that there's something else, your ego is going to trick you. May our egos not trick us. We still have a long way to go. We have to be sincere. We have to be honest. Sit down and understand. Understand and sit down and count. That's why Holy Prophet ﷺ, and he's saying so many times, Quran is saying think. Think. Why don't you think? Why are you not thinking? And the Hadith Sharif is saying 1 hour of meditation is worth in 70 years of worship. And Shaykh Effendi is saying now, just do 20 minutes. No, just do 5 minutes of meditation. Not meditation, sitting saying Allah, Allah, imagining colors and seeing this and that. No, meditate, thinking, what have you done? What are you doing? Sit and think. I said this word. Why I said this word? To whom I say it? Is it for the sake of Allah? Is it for the sake of the ego? Why did I wake up today? Why did I get upset? Why did I eat? Questioning yourself, putting yourself under that microscope and understanding your actions and understanding your intentions. That one will become a believer. And that one will be a servant. If you're able to do that, if you're honest, then you're not going to look for any other higher title. You cannot. Because you say, you will come to the point where you say, how did I even think of that? Inshallah, that is our aim. And our worship is not enough, is nothing. It is very dirty, it is very deficient. To claim that we have done this worship and for it to be accepted in divine presence, but with the shafa'at of the Rasulullah ﷺ, with the shafa'at of our Grand Sheikh and our Sheikh Sahibul Saif, just as we are dust under their feet, which we are, but under their shoes, under their sandals, but their sandals are going to go anywhere that they are going, we will be with them inshallah because of that. Never forget, we are wearing the sandal of the Prophet ﷺ. We are saying we are dust under him. We are not worth. We are not jewels on top of his head. Hasha, astaghfirullah. To think that you are something is to say that you are worth. We are not worth nothing. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, this is the sandal. Nali Sharif. So many cultures, they lost that tradition too. That he wanted to take off when he reached the throne. When he wanted to take off in divine presence, Allah is saying, no, my arsh is going to be blessed. When you step on it with your sandals, that not even Musa alayhi salam, in that holy place, in that mountain, not in the arsh, not in divine presence, just in that holy place, in the mountain on earth, that he was given permission for him to have his sandals on, to speak to Allah, to speak to the sounds that is coming from the burning bush, speaking for Allah. Not even Musa alayhi salam. He's told to remove his sandals. But Holy Prophet alayhi salam, everywhere he went, even in divine presence, his sandal stays. So we're hoping to be the dust under the sandals of our Shaykh and the awliya Allah. So wherever they are, they will bring us, inshallah. But if we understand that we are the dust, we'll do that. But if we think that we are something else, we're not worth, they may throw us away. May Allah save us, inshallah. Fatiha. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Any other questions you have? Do that every time. You guys are not doing that. Of course, Shaykh Effendi wants. I'm saying that because I know Shaykh Effendi wants it. He's done that before, but I'm saying to you, all weeks you're not doing it. Say.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Selamun Aleyküm hocam. To Hoca Effendi, and we are kissing his hands from Pesek Dergah. That is from Askar, Abdurrahman, Faisal and Mesud.
Yeah, mashallah. Alaykum salam.
And also from Jacksonville Dergah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Selamun Aleyküm ve Rahmetullahi ve Berekatuhu to Lokman Efendi Hazretleri.
Astaghfirullah.
Please give our
Alaikum
salams
salam.
and thank you for the broadcast. MashaAllah, Hoca Effendi looking like Shaykh Effendi.
Astaghfirullah.
Osman Bayi, Farhan and Walid all sending salams to Hoca Effendi and to all our ihwans there. Thank you and Juma Mubarak.
Alaykum salam. Alaykum salam. Juma Mubarak. I will see you soon. And
also,
yes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Jax ihwans sending salams to Hoja and all upstate ihwans. Kissing Hoja's hand. That's from Osman Kadiri.
Okay. So Osman Bayre. Okay. Alaykum salam. It's Jacksonville. Alaykum salam. Welcome to you. And that's it for tonight. If you have anything, you may ask. But tonight, finish. Inshallah, if there's nothing else. Inshallah, I will see you soon. And as much as people are watching and they're thirsting, then that much Shaykh Effendi is going to send. We don't know what he's sending and to whom. But if you are thirsty for it, he's definitely going to send. If you're not, so many people, they're spoiled. They're not listening. It's okay. They're going to wish that time. As so many are wishing now that they have made the time and the effort to come and to meet Shaykh Effendi or to take bayat with him or to receive the jewels that he's giving or to be in this place or to be upstate or to be in the community or to be in the village or to get a place up here. It is a lesson. The time is coming near. The time is here. Everything is showing that the time is now. What kind of protection we're hoping to get when the awliya Allah for this country is past? Why we think Hurricane Sandy came, the superstorm, never before in the history came? Why we think it came? Why it didn't come when Shaykh Effendi was here? Something to think about. Yes, in our Murids, those ones in New Jersey, those ones in Long Island, those ones up here, hurricane did not touch them at all. Alhamdulillah, with the blessings of our Shaykh. But those other places there, completely devastated. So, we should wake up, inshallah. Time has come for us to be together, to continue in this way. So many things that we can do, but one of the things that we have to, those who are able to, those who are not told to work for the sake of Allah somewhere else, to be here with us, inshallah. Time will come soon, whether you like it or not, you're going to be here. But that time, Shaykh Effendi said so many times, if you do it, You're going to be second class or third class. We will not have time for you. Yes, we're not going to treat you like first class. Now you're still first class, is still open. Wa min Allah tawfiq. May Allah forgive me and bless all of you for the sake of our share. Until I see you again, inshallah. Maybe we'll have live broadcasts in Passaic. Who knows? We'll have to continue that soon with the new year, inshallah. This Sunday, for everyone's information, is also Shaykh Effendi's birthday. And we are going to have Mawlid and Zikr and some other things that's happening. If you cannot be here, we'll see you on the live broadcast, inshallah. If Allah gives us the life. Have a safe Jummah. And my salams to everyone. From everyone here, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have a good night. Now eat your cake, except for Bayram, because he's sleeping whole night, and drink your tea or water. I'll drink for you. Assalamu alaikum.